To be honest, I think we're beyond taking positives from games we don't get points out of, so I don't think it's worth elaborating in that direction.
Regardless of the result, what do you think about the goal that you scored and you trying to, keep positive for your team? Thank you.
Yeah, I think in situations like these, each game starts 0-0. Unfortunately, we went down 2-0 pretty quickly, and we knew that we had to fight. We didn't want to get blown out. We wanted to put our best foot forward, and I thought we put ourselves in a position to get a little bit more out of the game despite the early difficulties. But it's not enough, and I don't see it as something that's positive to look forward to in regards to Montreal.
Thank you. Next, Ivan.
So you alluded to this perhaps with your earlier answer. Is the importance in getting points on the board at this point just setting a better standard going into next season, or anything else in that motivation for getting points in every game possible?
I think we owe it to the fans, we owe it to the city, and we owe it to ourselves to try and get points. Can't talk about next year because, frankly, I don't know if I'll be here next year. I don't know if some of the guys in the locker room will be here next year, and that's what happens in seasons like these, where everything is a disaster, frankly. And to think about foundations for next year is something that I think we'd be very naive to think about as individuals and as a collective.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Michael?
Hi, Jeremy. So you scored a goal at the 40th minute, and Hernan got a very close opportunity where it went right on top of the goal. So what was the mood of you guys going into the locker room at halftime when you cut it in half with your foot?
I think there's an acknowledgement that the start wasn't what it needed to be, and as long as we're in the game and we're capable of playing, then we're going to focus on what we can try and do to get a result out of the game. So it was, an acknowledgement of how the first half went, a belief that we were on the front foot and capable of equalizing, maybe winning the game as well. Obviously, that's not what happened, and so now we look back with frustration, disappointment, yet another time.
Thank you. Marco?
Jeremy, you look when you guys get down that hole 2-0 early. Maybe in months past of the season, you guys maybe could have maybe just put your head down easily and not just went through the motions. But you guys didn't. You actually came back. You scored to cut it in half, and you seem like you outchanced them in that second half. But then you don't get the results you want. So, how frustrating is it going forward when you can outchance a team like them, but still not come up with any points?
Yeah, it's naturally very frustrating. The point of the game is to get 3 points and to be dominant or to have more opportunities and not convert. It's okay if it happens once or twice a year, but if it's happening several times and then in the games that you are outplayed, you're not able to steal points, then you end up in the situation that we're in right now. We're not as bad as our record insists, but also there's like a humility that we have to understand that we are at what we are, and there's a reason for that too.
Right.
So I understand that you were kind of scheduled to just play the first 45 to 9. With cutting it in half late and with the momentum seeming to build, were you trying to campaign to stay in at least for a little bit longer to try to continue that momentum?
I was not. My health is paramount, and I worked with the staff to create a plan that would help the team and help keep me healthy. Now we'll see if how I respond to the 45 minutes I had tonight, but no, I think it's very important to prioritize health as much as possible.
Hey Jeremy, whether it be tonight or like the 4 games remaining, what are some things you think you guys as a unit can still hang your hat on? Like going into today, where did you guys feel like you can affect the game or have an advantage in?
I mean, it's no secret that we can be dangerous and that we can threaten any team that we play, even if our record doesn't show that. So we're going to go in and we're going to try and get points in each and every game that we do end up a part of. But there's nothing to kind of be proud of to date. That's for sure.
Thank you, and we will go to questions online, starting with Alex Morgan.
Hey Jeremy, you mentioned that given the way the season's played out, you're not sure if you or other players will still be in San Jose next year. I'm wondering how you're thinking about your future, and how you're thinking about that transition through the offseason.
Yeah, I mean, that's not really fully my decision, right? I think that's the challenge that any individual in this situation is going to have to go through. I think there are other people that you can ask that question to. I've been very communicative about where I stand on those things.
Thank you. And next, Robert Jonas.
Thank you. I wanted to, you mentioned the slow start to the game, and it looked like the team was able to start being a little more active, being a little more, possession. Can you walk us through the setup and what was sort of shifting in your favor that led to the possession and the goal? It was a really nice give and go with you and Carlos. What were you seeing on the field that allowed that possession to lead to a score?
Yeah, in terms of reflecting on the start of the game and how the momentum shifted a little bit as the half went on, that's not really something I'm very clear on, and I would have to watch the game back to give a good answer. But in regards to the goal, I mean, I know how this team plays. We all do. They're very aggressive. They have full belief in what they're doing, and with that aggression comes, I think, a lot of spaces on different parts of the field. So if you can combine quickly, you're going to get guys stepping and leaving their spaces open. And then if you can make the right decisions, which credit to Capo, he made a really good decision, really good weight on the pass, then you'll find yourself in on goal. There were some other opportunities as well for me and for some of the other guys. And yeah, I think from an execution standpoint and understanding their tactical identity, the key was to draw them out of position and get in behind them when we could. We had some success at times, but ultimately we didn't come away with 3 points, so not much to, yeah, that's kind of is what it is.
Thank you. And this concludes this portion.